Well, I was sorting out, and I was saying to myself, well, Christianity does not accept my appreciation of Buddhism and Hinduism, Gita, and even theosophy and so on. Things that are part of my coming to accept the amazing insights that are available to us and the blessings that come from them. But theosophy, and when I go to my friend Tenzin and listen to him talk, and the Gita and that, they do not reject Christianity. You could say they do reject its rejection of themselves, of course, but that is all. So I am resolved to not reject, and that makes me not a Christian, apparently. Well, I think they're probably wrong there. I think the essence of being Christian is the same as the essence even of being Buddhist or theosophical or Hindu or, well, probably a lot of other major religions in the world too, but I don't know enough about them. So here I stand, until God has me otherwise, or unless God has me otherwise. And I don't think he will have me otherwise. Put a love in my heart that doesn't want to reject life, doesn't want to reject anything that God has made, and a belief and a hope that God has made all things. And that even if he hasn't, that in some sense he's superior to all things, because you see, God is, by definition, ultimate, which is what the last recording was about. There's no point in me going through that argument again. So, I had an issue with the Christian church I go to, and it's a great shame, but I know in my heart that if they knew who I am, they would reject me. And therefore I'm not honest in allowing them not to reject me, really. I am who I am. And if they don't want me in their life, well, okay. Cool if you need me. I don't think they will feel they need me. I'm not that arrogant. I'm pretty arrogant, but I'm not that arrogant. Okay. But God does the same, as I understand it. Doesn't force himself on those that at heart don't want him. And I think at heart they definitely would not want me if they knew who I am. And from their point of view, they would see that as satanic. How fallen can you get? I don't know. I'm in a fix though for two reasons. One is I love Christian worship, in song at least. I just love singing, if you like, praise and worship of God. And although of course course, the songs don't always speak truths that I would hold to. I appreciate the sincerity and the earnestness with which they can be sung, and I can echo the sentiment, if not the literal content at times. And the other reason I'm in a fix is that I also greatly value some of the people at the church. I say some, I value all people, but greatly value some to whom that I know I'm a blessing to. And gosh, I don't wish to part myself from them. So these two reasons are holding me. And if I'm to continue the experience of those two, well, I can't be honest and open about my other spiritual activities as they would see it. I don't see them as other, of course. I see them as all part of the core of the reality of the goodness of God, and in relation to who each individual is in his creation. But they do not see that, of course. They certainly don't have the wider embracing of much of the content of other religions, and I do. So if I'm open to them, well, they will with all good reason reject me, and I will have excluded myself from both being part of Christian worship and the company of those that I particularly relate to in the church. So I'm in a quandary. I'm in a dilemma. I don't know what's best. There are high costs in staying, because there's a measure of deceit, deception, privacy, holding back, where for instance I could bless further those who I relate to well, but I can't give them their Christian, and I'm not there to rob and to steal. I'm not there for that. I think they can come to I think they can develop wonderfully where they are, if they get certain things right that are definitely Christian truths as I understand it, like, for instance, the importance of being thankful to God, the importance of understanding that God is our perfect Father. It gets tricky when it comes to what is very clearly in Scripture, which is call no man on the earth father, teacher, pastor, priest, leader. I mean, gosh, the church can't abide that one. There are many truths in the Gospels that the church can't abide, but that's certainly one of them. Just take a break there. Thank you, Heavenly Dad. Oh, I just had a note here. Every now and again you'll come across an old recording that I've revised that was never published, so I'm publishing it. And so they're a bit out of date. They're out of context in a sense. You can tell because there's a number 869 in this case, directly following the name, which of course is in my phonetic alphabet. But, you know, in other words, a number that's before the date of its original conception.
And so otherwise you might be a bit confused. Well, in this case, does he go to church or doesn't he now, and so forth. And of course, the history or historicity is in a sense only the story in which we progress, isn't it? They're not of lasting import in themselves, the actual historical content. What matters is the principles that seem to have been gleaned from the experience and may be a blessing to us in the future, and indeed in the eternal future. So we have some sense of priority here. I'm not trying to give some true and detailed account of my life as to how I arrive at the view that I have. That's really not relevant to other people. What is relevant is to, in some sense, understand the principles and values that may ring true to you, or may not, of course, from which you get your bearings. The universe we're in is a mixture of good and bad, that you might come to know the good, gravitate towards it, and distance yourself from bad things. That's as I see it. What do you think? Thank you, Heavenly Dad.